From UFO sightings to unexplainable weather phenomena, all the way to a prolific and unidentified serial killer, and one of the most well-known criminals of all time who's never been caught. Here is part 2 of the top 10 mysterious events that have happened in our lifetime. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have the New Jersey UFO. This UFO sighting took place in 2001 just above the New Jersey Turnpike. On July 14th, 2001, just after midnight for around 15 minutes, motorists driving down this highway stopped to stare at the sky to witness what no one could believe. There were strange orange and yellow lights in a V formation just above the Arthur Kill waterway. There were a ton of witnesses who were all extremely confused and shocked as to what they were seeing. Air traffic controllers initially denied that there were any flying objects that could have caused the mysterious lights, but a group that is called the New York Strange Phenomena Investigators claimed that they received radar data that night that would corroborate the story that the witnesses were telling. It may not have been aliens, but it certainly was some sort of unidentified flying object that no one had ever seen before, and there were people from all walks of life witnessing it together. In our number 9 spot today, we have blood rain. Between July 25th and September 23rd of 2001, people in southern India were experiencing one of the most strange weather phenomena I've ever heard of. It is said that after a loud boom in the sky, rain started to fall in the region, but this rain was different from your average run-of-the-mill rain. This rain was blood red, with some reports saying that there was also black, green, and even yellow rain. Does this sound like something out of a science fiction movie? Yes. Is it cause for concern? Thankfully, likely not. There have been similar reports of rainfall like this from around the world, which doesn't necessarily make it feel any less unsettling, but scientists do know 2 reasons for how this happens. The raindrops are getting stained by one of 2 things, either dust from a nearby desert, or a form of microscopic algae that is suspended in the raindrops, causing the color change. You might be wondering where the whole mystery in this one is. Well, that lies in how we have absolutely no idea how algae is getting into the clouds and thus into our rain. A theory for this is that perhaps the algae is alien or extraterrestrial and has been hitching a ride on meteors entering our atmosphere, but because the DNA of the algae matches that of a type found in waters all over the world, scientists are skeptical of that idea, so it all remains very much an unsolved scientific mystery. In our number 8 spot today, we have the Taos Hum. In the small city of Taos, New Mexico, for years, residents and visitors alike have been puzzled by a mysterious sound in the air that no one can quite find the source of. It is said that only about 2% of residents reported hearing this low-frequency desert hum, and the theories as to what could be going on here truly are endless. They range from believing it's caused by some sort of unusual acoustics, all the way to mass hysteria and other far more sinister top-secret theories. Things are further confused by the fact that those who hear the sounds actually hear many different sounds, meaning that it might be more of a subjective experience rather than an objective sound. At this point, it is so unclear we may never truly get any kind of answer that we're looking for. In our number 7 spot today, we have Witchcraft. This story is one that is so strange and mysterious and unsettling that I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since the first time I heard it. On December 22nd, 1967, a cabin cruiser called Witchcraft left from Miami with 2 people on board. The 2 men were taking a trip so that they could enjoy the Christmas lights on a 23-foot luxury yacht, truly living the dream. That all changed very quickly, however, when the men were just 1 mile offshore and the Coast Guard received a call from the captain stating that they had struck something. He said that there was no substantial damage, but still, hitting something is usually not great. The Coast Guard set out immediately to help tow the ship back to shore, and it didn't even take 20 minutes for him to arrive, but when he got to the location, he couldn't spot the Witchcraft anywhere. The area that was indicated as the ship's location was completely deserted, and there was no indication that anyone had been there even recently. What is extra strange about this is that not only was the ship apparently virtually unsinkable, but there were also numerous flotation devices and life rafts, as well as emergency equipment like flares and distress signals. No one ever saw any sign of them being used, and the ship was just gone. Officials searched hundreds of square miles in the next few days, but no one has ever found any sign of the Witchcraft. I just don't know how they could be so close, the timing was so short, and they still just completely vanished. It honestly gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. In our number 6 spot today, we have ball lightning. This is a mystery that has been around for long before our lifetime, but it still happens today, and we just aren't exactly sure what to make of it or how it occurs. Ball lightning is basically like a glowing orb, a mysterious ball of light that glows and crackles and hovers there, and it usually appears during thunderstorms. These glowing balls have been seen by people in their homes, on airplanes. Apparently some people have even seen them passing through windows. Ball lightning is absolutely fascinating, but it has scientists stumped. They're the most mysterious weather phenomena on this planet. Ball lightning usually only appears for a few seconds, but here's the thing. It's impossible to predict when and where it'll show up. You don't choose ball lightning chooses you. It's quite rare, but people and scientists alike have experienced it. It has been attempted to be created in labs, but no one can figure out the exact formula that creates it, so I guess you just have to wait and see if you're one of the lucky ones. In our number 5 spot today we have the Somerton Man. The Somerton Man is an unidentified man who was found perished on the Somerton Park beach in South Australia in 1948. Since then his case, who he is, and what happened to him has been a mystery plaguing authorities and all those who are now invested in the case and its secrets. Public interest in the case arose in part due to how mysterious it was, but also because of the fact that the death occurred in a time of heightened international tension. The mysteries surrounding this one span more than just who this man was, however. Firstly, it is unclear how this man passed away. Was it some sort of undetectable poison? How could no one have any idea despite being able to examine the body? The next mystery is that a secret little note was found in his pocket that was torn from a book. The note in his pocket read "To Mom Should," which means is over or is finished. It's a little ominous, but is the note connected to the case or is it just a weird coincidence? We don't know. Earlier this year, the body of the Somerton Man was actually exhumed in order for DNA testing to be done, as we of course have much more technology and DNA databases than we did at the time of his burial. While we haven't had any updates yet, maybe this exhumation means that this one isn't impossible to solve? I guess we'll all just have to wait and see. In our number 4 spot today we have the Catatumbo Lightning. Okay, so basically the opposite of ball lightning, the elusive glowing orbs, we have this kind of lightning that is around almost too often. Basically this lightning occurs over the Catatumbo River and it's a complete atmospheric phenomenon. This lightning occurs 140 to 160 nights a year, 9 hours per day, and from 16 to 40 times per minute. That is absolutely insane. That is so much lightning. That's almost a lightning strike a second. Another thing that's so fascinating about this lightning is that it is colorful and it doesn't produce any thunder. The lightning does change its frequency up from time to time, and at one point it stopped for a few weeks and people thought that maybe it was going to have been exhausted forever, but that changed when the lightning came back, putting it right back on our list of mysteries that we just can't quite figure out. Many people have studied the lightning, trying to figure out exactly how it has been created and what makes this phenomena what it is, but we aren't just quite sure yet. In our number 3 spot today we have the Zodiac Killer. This one had to make it on this list because although these stories are terrifying and horrible, the story of the uncaught and unidentified serial killer known as the Zodiac truly is one of the most mysterious. The Zodiac Killer took the lives of 5 people in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October of 1969. He was most known for targeting young couples or a lone male cab driver. Despite 2 people luckily and thankfully escaping his attempted evil doings, he has still never been caught. He was one of those weird ones who left notes and stuff for the police to find, and there are of course many people who think that the Zodiac has been identified. I'm sure we'll see some of them in the comments, hi. But while no one has heard from the Zodiac since 1974, the case remains active in many different counties and it is yet to be officially solved. In our number 2 spot today we have D.B Cooper. This is a case I have mentioned here before on this channel. In fact, I talked about this guy in my very first video I ever did here, but we had to bring it back because it truly is one of the most baffling mysteries of our lifetime. On November 24th, 1971, a man who said his name was Dan Cooper boarded a flight from Portland to Seattle. Once the plane was in the air, Cooper handed a note to the flight attendant who dropped it into her purse without even opening it. Cooper leaned over and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note, I have a bomb," which is probably number 1 on the list of the top 10 things no flight attendant ever wants to hear. After showing her the bomb, he began to list his demands, which were $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane for when they arrived. At 5:39 p.m., the aircraft landed at Seattle-Tacoma Airport. After receiving the items he had requested, Cooper ordered all the passengers and some of the flight attendants to leave the plane. The plane then took off again, and when it landed in Reno, Nevada, Cooper wasn't on it. The search for Cooper was one of the most extensive in US history, but he has never been located, and no one knows who he really was or what happened to him after this whole ordeal. Maybe DB knew something we all don't and he vanished into another universe? If so, why did he have to hijack a plane to do so? It truly is one of our biggest mysteries that may never get solved. In our number 1 spot today, we have the USS Princeton UFO. This is a UFO sighting that comes from 2004. On November 14th of that year, the USS Princeton noticed an unknown aircraft of some sort that was about 100 miles off of the coast of San Diego. For 2 weeks prior to this, the crew had been tracking a strange flying object that would start out at around 80,000 feet before extremely quickly dropping to hover right above the Pacific Ocean. Black Aces Commander David Fravor and Lieutenant Commander Jim Slate of Strike Fighter Squadron 41 went over in 2 fighter jets in order to kind of scope out the situation, and when they arrived they saw what at first appeared to be churning water while there was an oval shape just below the surface. After this, a white oval shaped object appeared above the water, but it had no markings on it. Like no windows, nothing that would indicate an engine, no wings, and the infrared monitors on the jets didn't pick up any sort of exhaust. The commander and lieutenant commander tried to intercept this strange aircraft, but it very quickly flew away and it reappeared on the monitor 60 miles away. Like when I say quickly, I mean it was moving at 3 times the speed of sound and over twice the speed of fighter jets. So faster than any kind of technology we currently have. We still don't know exactly what this is, but I'm sure a lot of us are thinking the same thing. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Is it a cause for concern? Somebody's just trying to go somewhere? What the f? In our number 8, somebody's having a f***ing party over there. What the hell? At this, I can't read. But we had to bring it back because it that scared the out of me. On November 24th, 1970, what? On